Good evening. You're welcome to another edition of Import Export Platform Facebook Live from 3 Pest Trade Academy. We continue from where we left off in the morning. Remember what we did in the morning. In the morning, we talked about the fact that Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars, part 7. And this evening, we are looking at Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars, part 8. And the focus in this evening's edition, basically, is to be able to drive home the point that, look, given the opportunities available in our environment, we cannot say the Nigerian states are not viable, even though that has been sold to us, and I said is a lie. Nigerian state cannot be said to be unviable, only that we have bad managers managing the affairs of the Nigerian state. So today we are looking at some of the potentials that make Nigerian state to be very viable, that make Nigerian state to be billionaire. I've actually spoken about 2 of them already. I spoke about I speak about cocoa. Sorry, I always try to check so that I'll be sure my voice is being heard. I'm going to continue from where I stopped. I stopped at the point where I talked about I stopped at the point where I talked about, I think it was cocoa I discussed first. Yes, it was cocoa, and this morning we spoke about cashew nut, and this evening I'm going to be discussing cassava. You know, if there's one thing, one product that have huge potential, that is like gold mine, the Nigerian state are sitting upon, and those states are I'm told are not viable. You know, come to think of it, do you know that Nigeria sometimes when you think about this thing, it's just so laughable. Do you know that Nigeria is the largest producer of cassava in the world? It might interest you to know. To know that Nigeria is the largest producer of cassava in the world. But you know what? Guess who is the largest Guess who is the largest exporter of cassava product? Guess who is the largest exporter of cassava product? Even though Nigeria is the largest producer of cassava in the world, guess who is the largest exporter of cassava product? Thailand. Thailand is a major. In fact, on my record here, Thailand is number 2. You know, when you know there's some number 2 that are distant to. Let me look at most recent data. Data I have here is a bit old, but Nigeria is still the largest producer in the world. I'm just trying to check for recent data of cassava. And then we'll look at, I've spoken about actually what cassava is being used for in the past, so I won't be talking about that. I'm just interested in the fact that I'm different in the states in Nigeria that are producing this product, but they are said to be non-viable. I'm not going to go through those states very soon. I'm interested in the state in Nigeria that are producing this product that some people are saying are not viable. Non-viable is a thing of the mind. Non-viable is something we have come to accept. Non-viable is something we have decided to adopt because that's the story that the governors of those states have told us. But I'm saying, and I reiterate with all sense of responsibility every day for the next 50 edition of this program, that Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. $1 billion is actually 360 billion naira. That is enough for some states for 3 years, because some of them, their budget is lower than 100 billion. Even last year, the whole of fund generated by Ekiti State and generated by Osun State altogether is not even up to 100 billion. So even $1 billion alone So, and I'm not even talking about that $1 billion now. I'm just saying that $1 billion alone is enough for some of these states to be able to do whatever it is they want to do. As in, they have more than enough. 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 So the question is this: what is the issue with the governors that making them to say they don't have money? They are not viable. Like I said in the morning, they are looking at cash as the only source of money. The governors are looking at cash as the only source of money. And as long as you are looking at cash as your only source of money, you will be limited. You will always look at cash. How can you be looking at cash as your only source of money when economists told us that money is a medium of exchange? Economics says that money is a medium of exchange. Basically saying that whatever we have that we can use to get what we want is money. Saying that whatever we have, you can use to get what you want is money. By that definition, cash is the lowest expression of money. By that definition, cash is the lowest expression of money. But when the Nigerian governor say we don't have money, do you know what Nigerian governor is saying that you're not hearing? They are saying we don't have cash. What Nigerian governor is saying that you are not hearing is that they are saying we don't have cash. They are saying we don't have cash. But like I said, cash is the lowest expression of money known to man. If you fixate your eyes on cash, you will not be able to do anything because you think you are incapacitated because you do not have cash. But the more intangible money you have, the more the tangible money you can attract. The more the intangible money you have, the more the tangible money you can attract. The more the intangible money you have, the more the tangible money you can attract. But what we see is the fact that we focus on what? So how can a state producing cassava? No, just tell me. I'm trying to understand. Please tell me. How can a state producing cassava saying? I don't have money. No. The state actually is, what the state is saying that you're not hearing is that I don't have cash. Not that it doesn't have money. Because the state have everything it needs to survive. But the state have just not looked at the opportunity that it has and how to harness this opportunity. Because the day the state begin to see that cassava is gold mine and that you can do a lot with it, converting it to various stuff, then you realize that this same state that is saying it doesn't have anything become a major. I'm trying to check the cassava stuff I talked about. I'm trying to check the list, the most recent one. The one I have is a bit old. So I can see 2017. The one I have is 2012. But even in 2017, Nigeria is still the largest producer. Nigeria produced 47 million tons. Please note, whenever I'm talking about this thing, always remember that Nigeria currently is exporting by default. Nigerian farming is by default. A lot of government input are just coming in. And it's not state. Remember, I'm talking about state. Federal government does not have issue. They are the one that have all the money. They are the one distributing to the state. They are the one spoiling the state. They are the one not allowing the state to think and find solutions to their problem. So I'm not talking about federal government. But federal government have been supporting farmers. But the state, I am saying, have potential. Now, let me show you an example. Thailand is a distant second. And Thailand is $30 million. 30 million tons. 30 million tons. Nigeria is 47 million tons. Thailand is a distant second from Nigeria. The question you should ask yourself is, who are the major producer of cassava products in the world? And who are the major exporter of cassava products in the world? It's Thailand. And then Indonesia. And then Brazil. Thailand, Indonesia, Brazil. Even though Thailand is a distant second to Nigeria. Even though Thailand is a distant second to Nigeria. Even though Thailand is a distant second to Nigeria. Thailand is a major exporter. And I'm saying Nigerian state governors can now take it upon themselves and say, okay, can we begin to look at cassava differently? Can we begin to look at what is Thailand doing with cassava that we can do? That we can replicate. And like I said, the governor should not be the one doing it. Work with the citizen of your state. Form SPV with your people in your state. Let them work with them, create an environment, and have a sharing formula. Mobilize your citizen to farm cassava and supply the cassava to be processed into semi-processed products, secondary products that can be exported. How can Nigeria be producing 47 million tons of cassava and Thailand producing 30 million tons of cassava? Is the one that is the major exporter. Can you see? So when I say Nigerian state are billionaires in dollar, I'm not just ranting. I'm not just ranting. I'm speaking based on fact. These facts are not my views. These facts are available freely for everyone that's interested on the internet. These facts are not my view. These facts are available freely for individuals on the internet for them to check up themselves. I'm checking currently World Atlas. If you check World Atlas and search for cassava producers, you'll be sorry. And you'll be amazed rather. Abdul Hahad, I will accept your request immediately I'm done with this, with my session. I immediately, whenever I see any request, I will. Okay, no problem. I will accept your request. I want to talk to John. Okay, no problem. I will accept your request. Just give me some time. I'll be done in another. I've spent it's usually 30 minutes broadcast, and I've currently done about. Sorry, let me just check. I think I've done about 5 minutes already. So maybe in another 25 minutes. I'll be able to get across to you. Sorry, let me just double check. Yeah. Sorry. Yes, sorry, I've actually done 12 minutes. Wow. Okay. Actually done 12 minutes. So what am I trying to say in essence? I'm basically saying that Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. And one of the things that can make them billionaires, potential billionaires, is cassava. One of the things that can make them billionaires and potential billionaires is cassava. And cassava, like I said, is one thing that we have neglected, that we have not done much about, which have huge potential. So, and I'm saying that, how do you explain the fact that Nigeria is a major producer of cassava in terms of farming of cassava, but Nigeria is not a major exporter of cassava? And I'm saying the state governor can begin to take the lead. Now, cassava fresh and dry trade is $1.58 billion. Cassava fresh and dry trading of cassava is $1.58 billion. 75% of the export is done by Thailand. 75% of the export is done by Thailand. 87% of the import of cassava is done by China. And Thailand and China are just by the side of each other. The last time I was in China, I actually passed through Thailand. I think about 3-4 hours or thereabout. It's a very short journey. So they have just neighbors. So 75% of export of cassava product is done by Thailand. 87% of cassava product import is done by China. Obviously, China is importing them in form of starch, in form of flakes, in form of chips from different parts of the world to produce different products. China is the factory of the world. You know that already. But where I'm going is that if $1.58 billion, that's for now. Let me look at other variants of cassava. Let me look at other variant of cassava, because what I've just seen now is cassava in dry form, and that can be cassava chips, that can be cassava flakes, But what I want to check now is cassava. What I want to check now is cassava, cassava in starch form, cassava in starch form, cassava in starch form, cassava in starch form. And I will also check cassava in starch alone is $1.23 billion. Who is the major exporter of cassava starch? Thailand, 71%. Who is the major importer of cassava starch? China, 58%. 58%. It's so interesting that Nigerian state. Now let me now show you states in Nigeria that produce cassava. State in Nigeria that produce cassava. State in Nigeria that produce cassava. There's different states in Nigeria that produce cassava. Different state in Nigeria that produce cassava. This is cassava. Yes. The state that produce a lot of cassava include Kaduna, very high level of cassava. Kaduna, Ogun State, Ondo State, Kogi State, Benue State, Taraba State. Benue State, Taraba State. These are the major producer of cassava. Major producer of cassava. Cross River State, River State, Akwa Ibom State, River State, Kogi State. So from Kogi to Ondo State to Ogun State to Kaduna State to Benue State to Taraba State to Cross River State to Rivers itself to Akwa Ibom itself. Now. The next level of cassava production. The next level. Now, you know what I will do? I will mention the states that have the lower level. When you look at the state that have lower level, any state I do not mention, you can be sure it's a major producer of cassava. Apart from Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, Kano, Bauchi, Gombe, Adamawa, Jigawa, Yobe, and Borno State. All the North Central State, Southeast State, Southwest State, South State, all the Southwest, South, Southeast, and North Central, almost all the states there produce cassava. Almost all the states there produce cassava. Almost all the states there produce cassava. And they produce in over 1 million tons. Over 1 million tons. And this same cassava has multiple uses, multiple industrial uses. We need to begin to look at the way the world is thinking. The world is looking for substitute for hydrocarbon. And they found a couple of them in soybeans. They found a couple of them also in cassava and some other agri-product, so that they can begin to produce hydrocarbon products that are biodegradable. Hydrocarbon products that are biodegradable. Hydrocarbon products that are biodegradable. That's the idea. And that move is gaining ground in the world. The research is going on, and a lot of countries are beginning to look at. So the use for a lot of agricultural commodities like cassava, like soybeans, is going to soar. If we already have an advantage, remember, 70% of Nigerian farmers are peasants. Remember, 70% of Nigerian farmers are peasants. Remember that most of our agri-product perish as post-harvest losses. Remember, more than 30-40% perish as post-harvest losses. Remember, we have not even used up to half of our arable land. Remember, out of this, despite this shortcoming, Nigeria is still the largest producer of cassava and yam. Nigeria is still the largest producer of cassava and yam. What does that suggest to you? That basically suggests to you that, look, we have everything it takes to be successful, to be financially viable, for all these south, southeastern states to be able to do a lot. But you know what has spoiled us? You know what has spoiled us now. You know what spoiled our governor now? Most of our governors they don't come in with the idea of creating something of value for their people. No. They come in to come and share the money. Now, we have new set of governors now that have come in. I don't want to believe they have not come to share the money because they don't have enough money to share. I think every governor in Nigeria should be thinking of a legacy to leave down in the state of how to double, triple, quadruple the IGR to surpass the Abuja fund, FAC from Abuja, such that at the end of the day, they can call the bluff of Abuja. In fact, they can use the money from Abuja and just be saving it for unborn generation and be spending only their IGR. Or use that to build infrastructure only and use their IGR to pay salaries and to do others. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Someone should share this video with them. Let the commissioner see it. Let the SA see it. Let the governor see it. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state have everything it needs to be billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state have just have very, very indolent, very, very lazy drivers at the helms of affairs. And when I mean lazy, I mean very mentally lazy. I mean individual that does not have the interest of people at heart. Why is it that somehow we've just developed a system that throw up people who don't mean well for the state? You know, some people will say, it's not the governor, it's the people they surround themselves with. I don't believe that. If you surround yourself with people, you're supposed to have a vision what you want to do. If you realize that people around, if you realize that you're not able to achieve it because people around you are already giving excuses and giving reason why it cannot be done, if you have a vision, change them, please. If you have a vision, just please change them. If you have a vision, change the people. Don't rely on people who does not know what to do or does not even want to do anything, just want the money to come. Oh, the money has arrived. Share the money. The money have arrived. Every month the commissioner for finance go to Abuja to come and we go and share the money. It's most unfortunate. It's most unfortunate. But I am saying that Nigerian state are viable. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state can have all that it takes for you to survive. Nigerian state just need the right driver to drive his affair for you to be able to achieve his objective. So if Nigerian state have not been able to achieve his objective, it's not because Nigerian state cannot achieve his objective. It's just that Nigerian state have not have people capable enough to be able to help it to achieve his objective. Nigerian state, I dare say, with all sense of responsibility, I dare say Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. So the question is, what is hindering Nigerian state from achieving its potential? What is Nigerian state from achieving potential is basically because we are being driven by people who do not. If they lack the idea is being passed every day now. Today I'm talking about cassava. Tomorrow I'll talk about something else. And I'm going to drill down. I'm just looking at some product that Nigeria is a major producer. Later I will go and look at each state. As in, I'm going to go through each state and we're going to dissect the income of the state. We're going to look at the product in the state can work on. Both agric and mineral that the state can work on, and we're going to look at what the state is not doing right now and what the state could have done. And we're going to take each state on its own merit. And you found out that the state have everything it takes. Forget about whatever anybody is telling you. Cassava alone has just demonstrated it to you. Cassava alone is, if you put all the different trade of cassava together, it's going to about $3 billion. It's going to be about $3 billion. So $3 billion is over 1 trillion naira. Like I say, most states don't need more than 100 billion in a year. Most states don't need more than 100 billion in a year. And some people, some governor will steal about 10%. Sometimes you just be wondering. I think there is a disease among some of the Nigerian politicians, the way they steal money. I think there's a disease. There's something wrong. What do you explain of you stealing money that your unborn generation cannot spend? How do you explain that? How do you explain that? I don't get it. How do you explain that? How do you explain the fact that you're stealing money that your unborn generation cannot finish spending? What will you do with it? So now we know that South State, Southwest State, Southeast State, North Central State are all viable in terms of cassava production. And that with cassava production alone, they can generate enough fund. So what do? Get your people together and cooperate to produce this cassava. Partner with a company that will process the cassava into starch, into flakes, into chips, into different secondary products that you can then export. Now, because you are bringing the raw materials, using your people, and paying back your people, but giving your people guarantee that you will pay back, getting them to do the farming and provide the raw materials. And then you have a sharing formula with the company that is producing it, and is producing it in your state, on your soil, and engaging your people. I dare say, Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state only have bad managers, incompetent managers. If we begin to engage them, especially for those of them that have open arm and willing to learn, that really have the interest of people at heart, because any government that has the interest of people at heart, the first thing you should attack is not to increase tax and increase the burden of the people, but to harness the potential of the state to generate all the income you can muster. If you are not doing that, then you are really not, you really do not know what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm wondering why how you find yourself in that place in the first place. Because you're really not supposed to be there if you can't generate income for them. Because the whole idea where your relevance is just based on solving their problem. What's their problem? Inadequate funding. How do we do inadequate funding? Increase income. So, no brainer, your objective, your target, your goal is pretty much defined. That what you should focus on is generating income, increasing revenue. And if at the end of 4 years you are not able to do that, sometimes I wonder why those governors are re-elected again. We've just developed a very lovely, interesting, and fantastic means of throwing up the worst of us all. All right, thank you very much for listening. My name is Dela Yimba, and this is Import Export Platform, Facebook Live from 3 Import Trade Academy. See you tomorrow morning. I will be having the session as 8 as usual. I have a program by 9, so definitely I will have my session by 8 before I leave the leave the room for my program. Thank you very much for listening. Remember, this video go on YouTube channel 3 Import TV. Remember to subscribe to our channel, like the video, share with your friends, share with your governor, share with your commissioner, share with people that are close to the governor of your state. Thank you very much, and bye for now.